Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I welcome you again to another episode of Reflections with Jerry. This is episode 4, believe it or not. We've done 3 episodes and it's been wonderful. Thank you all for the feedback. Thank you for all the beautiful comment. Thank you for helping us share and all you've been doing. You guys have been amazing. For those of you that are seeing us for the first time, we've done 3 episodes. And number 1, the story of Mama Vincent. Really love the story. The second episode, the story of gifts. And then we did the 3rd episode, Turning Point. Today, we just want to, just freestyle, wonder a bit. Of course, I have my guest in the house, my lovely wife, Beloved.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Yeah. She happens to be gentle, but more. I thank God anyways. Thank God.
I comment my results.
Yeah, my gentle wife is here. Beautiful, lovely inside out. But one thing I've never told you guys is that she's filled with so much depth, so much insights, and she has a very, very beautiful mind. And today I just want to put her on the spot. Not on the spot really, because some of the things I'm going to ask her are things that she's very, very aware of. It's her life, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to try and scratch her brain a little bit, and I hope it blesses you. I hope it enlightens you one way or the other. So, Beloved Okonkwo.
Jerry Okonkwo.
A lot of people queried me for saying Sister Beloved.
Okay, am I not a sister?
And I'm a brother.
A sister of the Lord.
But yeah, the sister brother thing, we copied it from Mike and Gloria Bamiloe. The first time I heard them tell their story about how she calls him Bro Mike, even, all through the years, it didn't change. It was so fascinating for me. I started joking about it, and somehow we started calling ourselves brother and sister.
Brother and sister. Just when we want to joke around, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but she remains beloved, isn't she?
Yes.
Okay. So, enough of playing around. So, the first question. You're now an evil girl. Okay.
Well, Igbo by marriage.
Yeah. By the way, in case you don't know, Beloved is Yoruba. She's Yoruba girl.
From Osun State.
Omo Ekire.
Yes, girl.
And she got married to an Igbo man. And it's been very, very, very wonderful, I must say. You concur?
Yeah, I agree.
The way you stared at me.
I can't complain.
All right, so but there's something else. She wasn't always a Christian. She was born a Muslim, guys.
Ooh, yes, that's right.
Okay, so my first question would be that how far back was that? How do you remember any time in your life you were a Muslim?
So I would say that my dad was a Muslim, and he grew up a Muslim, and then he got married to my mom. But my mom came from like a Christian background. Yeah, but she became a Muslim after they got married. They did the traditional nikah and all that. So the only thing I can remember, because it was a long time ago, was that I used to attend a Muslim primary school, and I used to attend a Muslim primary school. I was very young, I tell you, so I can't really remember. So we moved out of that place that we were staying. That was at Ikotu in Lagos. Then we had to move to somewhere else called Igodo, Ego, not far from each other. So we had to change our school. And then I started attending a new school.
Right.
Yeah, so that was all I could remember. Yeah, I remember that we used to have Muslim teachers. They teach us, take us to mosque, and all that, but it was very, very faint. Yeah, but I could remember then that the school had like Christian community, but sometimes because I don't like wearing hijab, so I run and then I used to join
I'm
the
trying to
Christians.
picture how you would look like in the hijab.
I used to join the Christians, but they used to fetch me out and take me back. That you, yeah, that was all I can remember really.
So she's right. Okay. So she's now beloved Okonkwo. What's your Yoruba name?
My Yoruba name is Ajibike.
What does that mean?
Ajibike. It's just like, we gave birth to somebody to treasure, to pets.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, handle her with care.
That's how you like. That's why she likes soft life. Everybody.
I don't come to this life to suffer.
All right. So if I'll ask, do you know what made your parents become a Christian? What made them become Christians?
Oh dear, that's a long story, I tell you.
No, please, can you summarize it in 5 seconds, please?
I would say troubles of life, really. My mom, as I said, she came from a Christian background.
Right.
But she doesn't. She's not like she wasn't like a church person. She just goes out, does her thing. Then at some point we started attending White Garment Church, CNS.
Wow.
Yeah, for a long time. But I would say
for how long? Like, can you remember how long you were in the White Garment Church?
No, I can't remember. But
were you a teenager in White Garment Church? No,
not a teenager. But I told you we changed like our apartment, moved from Ikotu to Ego. So it's kind of like complicated.
Well, how come you can't remember things like you? I'm sure you were older than 6 years old, though. Like you were more than 6.
So
because I can remember quite a lot of things from when I was 6.
The way your brain works, it works like in the reverse.
No,
you used to remember ancient things, and then the most recent ones you don't used to remember.
Yeah, I love the memories from my childhood, and I can quickly, plug myself in that time.
I do.
But I see you're struggling. Let me help you. It's okay. Don't worry yourself too much.
All right.
So I think the bigger question I was asking there was who converted to be a Christian first, your mom or your dad?
My mom.
I know you say your mom was firstly a Christian and then got married.
Like church goer,
got married and became a Muslim again or something.
Yes, my mom. He was my mom. It was a long time. It took a long time before my dad started following us to church. Yeah, very long time.
Oh, yeah, cool, nice. Shout out to mommy and to daddy. I mean, I'm sure becoming a Christian has paid you a lot.
Yeah.
You've been able to raise a wonderful daughter that I happen to marry.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you so much for all this work. Yeah, so to the next question. There's a story that went really popular for those of us that follow Beloved Okonkwo on Facebook. That she told a while ago. It was a very lengthy piece that she wrote, and it caught a lot of attention because of how she wrote it and the message that was in that story. But I just want to ask her about that Mommy School.
Okay.
Tell us about Mommy School.
Okay, so I did mention earlier on that we moved from Ikotu to Ego. So when we moved, it was, circumstances that was beyond us. I think that time my dad lost his job, so we had to downsize. We had issues with accommodation, so we moved to a room, just a room. You know what we call face me house.
You cannot tell me if I know. I lived in Ajegunle, and
right?
And we were sorry. Hold on. Let me just tell the story. I mean, it's so sweet in my mind as I remember. We lived in one bedroom. We lived in one room house, and it was barely 10 by 12, I think, the size. And we were 5 children. Sometimes you sleep on the couch. Other times sleep on the floor, and you wake up under the bed.
And you were really sleep catch. Exactly. That was exactly our situation too. But then at that time we were just 3 kids.
Wow.
Yeah. Although they gave birth to our fourth child, fourth born in our house, but we were just 3. It was just me, my sister, and my brother. Yeah. So we just moved to a new environment. So my mom then had to step up, so she had to work extra, yeah. And then daddy too got a job, so both of them were always around. So there was this school just behind our house where we stayed. I still spoke about this school this evening. The name of the school was Ayolu Nursery and Primary School. So the owner of the school is who we call Mommy's School. So she has a house, the rented house that she was living there. It was a 3-bedroom flat just beside the school. So the school wasn't that big. In fact, when you see the school, it doesn't look fine or anything, but because that was what we could afford at that time, and it was just right behind the house. So my mom enrolled me. I remember I was in nursery 2. My sister was in nursery 1. So she enrolled us in that school. And we started attending the school. So anytime we closed from school, we just come back home. We'll buy food. Because there was nobody to look after us, my mom usually used to come back home late. And so we were just at the mercy of everybody around. In the house, they send us on an errand. We just play around in the sun. We were just always dirty. Oh my God. You said you used to play. Oh, I used to play, you know what they call husband and wife play with children. Like sand. Oh my God, sand everywhere. I used to play. I was very, very, very playful and very stubborn.
Stubborn, yeah, okay. So yeah, I can relate to that.
I was stubborn and very, very playful. And so this Mommy's School, she noticed that our assignments were usually undone. We were always walking around. Sometimes she sees us from our flat, just playing around, walking around. And then she just called my mom one day and made an arrangement with her and said, when these children closes from school, instead of them going home, since there's nobody to look after them, I'll take them to my flat. They'll stay with me. At least they can do their assignments, and then somebody can watch them till you come back. When you come back from from work, you can come and pick them up. My mom was so happy. I didn't like that because it robbed me of the freedom, you know. You know, but we didn't have a choice. We didn't have no choice at that time. So each time we closed from school, she used to take us directly to our flat. In short, some people used to think maybe we were grandchildren or something. The 3 of us. She'd take us to our flat, we'll change our clothes, she'll feed us. She fed us without giving her anything. She fed us, and then we'll stay with her, we'll do our homework. It was boring, but at least it kept us safe. Yeah, we didn't know then at that time we were so angry, but we didn't know she was doing us a whole lot of good. So this woman, she used to attend the Bible church, and she was one of the children's church teacher in school. In church. Yeah, right. The children's church teacher. So on Mondays, Monday Bible study, and Thursday, she She can't leave us at home. She couldn't leave us at home.
She leave you at home, you scatter the whole house.
She could not. So she would take all of us, the three of us, and then she'd take us down. We'll walk down to church. She'd take us to church and bring us back home. And that was when I got interested about Bible stories. That's why it's still a little bit, I still feel sad that the Deeper Life Bible Church no longer produces outlines for one day Bible study.
You mean for the kids?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So then there used to be outline. In fact, then growing up, you will see I had a stash.
No,
like a whole lot.
I don't know if I can say that for a fact though, but yeah, for us
I
here,
haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
Even in Nigeria, I had like stash a whole lot of Bible study outlines. Yeah, with the dates.
Yeah,
and
guys,
everything.
if you can confirm to us about the
outlines, I'm not
Bible
sure.
study outline for the kids, if it's still being produced, yeah.
Even if it's a soft copy, because then there's always a story. They used to start with a story. They do some cartoon characters, well illustrated. Oh my God. I always I used to look forward to Bible studies because they would tell us stories. So it was then that I got interested in storytelling. I got interested in church. I got interested in Bible. I was always looking forward to those stories. When I'm alone, I go through those stories again. I act it out with my younger ones. It was so lovely. And ever since then, I told you we attended CNS. I just told them that I'm no longer going to that church. I'm no longer doing Muslim or going to any
You told
church.
who?
My parents.
Oh, really? How did they take it?
Well, so they couldn't. They didn't have it. They didn't have any choice.
They weren't home anyways.
Yeah, but on Sundays I still used to follow them to our routine or regular church. But for the weekdays, I follow mommy's school to Bible study and Thursday revival. The Bible study was my favorite then because of the stories. And then we had one children teacher. Oh God, I can't remember his name. He used to teach us all this Bible story. He would say, children, praise the Lord. I can't forget that. And everybody will shout, hallelujah.
Which area was that?
Different songs. Huh?
Which area?
He was in Ego. He was in Ego district.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that would be like 19 when? Or?
I can't remember the 90, but I knew that I should be around 5 or 6 years old.
So
that would be 1990.
97.
97.
Okay,
yeah.
So guys, Egon District 97 Children
96,
Church leader.
Yeah. I remember my youth leader when I got to secondary school. He was Bro Chibogu, so I remember that one.
Right.
But I can't remember the children church teacher. I think he's late now. He's going to be with the Lord because even then, as a then, he was an elderly man.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
He was an elderly man. Yeah, he used to teach us with mom in school also. They used to teach all of us together. It was a lovely time. And
so at what point did your parents leave CNS to Deeper Life?
Okay, so I would say it was a series of events actually. I was the first person to leave the CNS and start attending Deeper Life. When I grew up a little, then they began to see the changes in my life also. Not like change, but at least I was like obedient a little bit, better than before.
I like how she said a little bit.
Exactly.
Beloved.
They could see the improvement. At least I improved small. So they let me be. They just left me alone. You see, they left me alone. At least the place she's going and we are seeing changes. Let her continue going there. So that was how they left me alone. But my mom had to join the church. My sister was unwell. And my sister was unwell. It was really, really long. She was really, really sick. And we've gone to different places, hospitals and all that. And everything still remained until... Then Deeper Life people, I wrote a prayer request. Yeah, that was it. I remember. On a Friday, I went to church. I wrote a prayer request.
On a Friday?
Yeah, it was a Friday. We used to do prayer meeting on Friday then.
Oh, okay.
So I wrote, or was it Wednesday? I can't remember. Either Wednesday or Friday. I wrote a prayer request and said, please pray for my sister. She's currently in the hospital. She's not well. And then the pastor said, whoever wrote this prayer request should wait and see me after the church. So I waited and saw the pastor, and they were like, what's wrong with your sister? And you know what? What really moved my mom then was that I was the only one attending Deeper Life with my sister. And the Deeper Life people then, they were all over us. Immediately we closed from the prayer meeting, they were in the hospital even before my parents came back.
Wow.
From work. Because then there was no food, nothing. So somebody had to wait at home to tell them that, oh, your child is in the hospital. But before my mom got to the hospital, Deeper Life people were already at the hospital. I left my sister in the hospital to go to church to attend that prayer meeting and came back to the hospital. My mom met people at the hospital and they never stopped coming. They kept coming to check on us, kept coming to check on my sister. They kept praying. Even the Yoruba district kept coming, the English district kept coming praying. So, but the church that my mom was attending, nobody came to visit her, to check on her, to know how she's doing. Why is she not in church? Why was she not in church? So that alone surprised her. She was like, wow, these people don't know me. It's only my daughter that attends this church, and they all support me and rally around me like this. And then one day they took my mom. They even came to pick her from home. We had combined service at Bagada. It was at Bagada. It was at Bagada that my sister instantly received her healing. That was my mom's first day at Bagada Church. My sister instantly.
Can you remember the year?
I can't remember the year. So the thing is, I remember what happened, but I can't remember the exact year.
That's the two of our brains are different.
Oh, my brother.
Yeah.
What we go do now? Then we compliment each other. It was at Bagada that my younger sister, received her healing. In short, my mom said she stood up and was running down and screaming. It was an usher.
Wow, how come you never told me this part of the story before?
I must have told you. Maybe you have forgotten.
Hey.
But it was an usher that held my mommy down, sat her down, and said she should calm down and explain what happened. In short, that was what influenced my mom to join the usher. She's still an usher. She's an head usher now. Because the first contact she had, they know I know that worship. The first contact she had in the church was with the ushering department. You know, they really supported her that day when she was screaming and shouting. They didn't shout at her. She felt welcomed by the ushers. So when they asked her, where do you want to work? She said, usher it is. So that's right. They call her usher up till now. Yeah.
Wow, cool. So nice recollection and story. Yeah, my wife is actually a good storyteller, better than myself. I give her that. I can't just take that. I dash you that. So back to mommy's school. If today you will tell her what her real name is, first of all.
Oh yeah.
And then you just summarize what her influence was on your life then, because she was the one that started making you be obedient more at home.
Yes, so she's a disciplinarian. You cannot do rubbish beside her. Yeah, she will beat you finish and still read Bible and give you. So use the two together. And so mom is cool. Her full name is Mama Folashade Familoko. Yeah.
Yeah. I say shout out to mommy Familoko.
Yes, Familoko.
Yeah, mommy, wherever you are, we love you.
Yeah,
mommy's cool. God bless you. Thank you for taking care of this girl for me. By now.
Yeah. So, what can we learn from?
Yeah, before you go to what you can learn, I have another question. Okay. I think I have two more questions. Then you can now help us summarize all this into one big lesson. I know you're an evangelist.
Shoot.
So, my third question would be that Now you're a very, very advanced woman.
I'm not. I'm still a young babe. What do you mean, advanced woman?
Okay, but at least you have born 2 children.
It doesn't matter. I beg.
Right. So at some point, you were younger than you
I
are.
used to tell a woman that a woman is advanced, not old. You know they learn, Abi.
Apologies to all women out there. I did not know this one.
I'm telling you now. Before they will beat you, they will slap you.
But at least all of you would agree that at some point you were younger than you are now.
I agree.
So you once had a younger self.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So if you would speak to your younger self, what counsel would you give her?
I would say, don't be afraid. Yeah, because a lot of time, fear tends to hold us back. Yeah, there's things that, the thing is, God has deposited a lot of things in us. He has given us talents, potentials, but sometimes we are afraid to step up and step into that which God has deposited in us. Sometimes we're thinking, what will people say? We're thinking, what if we fail? You see, the fear of failure is a big one. You see, that is making people to hold back. So even if you're afraid, do it believing in what God has said and trusting His word. Because I tell you, Jesus can be trusted. God's word can be trusted. So if there's anything He has told us to do, because time is of value and is of essence. Yeah. When God tells you to do something or He lays something in your heart, I tell you, He's not telling only you. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of other people that God is telling that particular thing and He's sending that particular message. So if you are dragging behind, I tell you, there are 1,000 other replacements. It's just like when God told Elijah was like, I'm the only one, I'm the only prophet. And God is telling him, I have 7,000 men. So for every Elijah,
he couldn't believe it.
He was shocked. For every Elijah, there are 7,000 men. So that's just it. So trusting God, and
is it 7,000 now or 5,000?
It was 7,000, my darling brother.
You see what I told you guys. Yeah.
7,000. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Right. So you were going to give us like a summary on Mommy's school.
Do I have any other question?
I actually do have my final question. My final question will be that, we've been doing reflections quite a lot. And, it's more like looking back and trying to share stories and, dissect the stories in a way that people can learn something from it. But now I want to ask a question that would be the opposite of that.
Okay.
Projecting into the future. What's in the future for you? How do you see the future?
Wow. I would say the only sure thing that I see in the picture is picturing me and Jesus together, basically.
And where would I be?
You are but see, let me just tell you the truth. Me, I'm a Jesus girl.
Why?
You'll be there, my brother.
I'll be there.
Yes, but Jerry, you always be in the picture. You know that. But you always be in the picture.
My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I'm not jealous, but at least allow me small space. Let me.
What I'm trying to say is, there's no future without Jesus, basically. Yeah, because everything in this body is transient. Like, it's just like vapor. It just and disappears. But the only sure thing is Jesus and what He has told us. And I tell you, Jesus is the future. So because He said, I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. So the only sure thing is you walking with Jesus and you following Him and following His leading. So I would say it is me. Okay, you and I and Jesus. Oh yeah.
Thank you. At least you give me small space. Okay, wow. So such a very, very lovely time with you today.
You're welcome.
I hope we have another time to do this.
Definitely.
Now, so guys, the thing is we gist a lot, but it's different when you do this in front of camera. I know for some reason it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
So wow, you come again.
Of course, you have me every time.
All right, so
not to whisk me like you used to do.
I'm not a bad boy, trust me. All right, so just to round off, if you can just round up all the stories. I think the first one was just talking about you being a Muslim as a child.
Yeah.
Then mom is cool.
Yeah.
Talking to your younger self, and then the future. If you could just summarize this in 5 seconds.
5 seconds is too small, but I will try. So, the first thing I want to say and the first lesson I want to bring out is no matter your background, no matter where you're coming from, God has plans for everybody. And in the beginning, it's just like a puzzle. I used to watch my kids arrange puzzles very well. When they bring out everything, scatter. In fact, I used to have headache immediately. Especially when Joy says, Mommy, can you do? I'll be like, that thing used to scatter my brain. But you see, when you now start bringing the pieces together, bringing everything together and arranging it, then it begins to look like the master plan, begins to look like the real original picture. Because there's always like a drawing or a plan that you must follow. Then we start arranging it little by little. So sometimes our lives is just like that puzzle. It may seem scattered in the beginning, here and there, like you don't even know where you belong. But when you put Jesus in the middle, that's like the master plan. And then you follow him. You start putting every bit and pieces together. Then it begins to look like it.
Begins to make sense.
It begins to make sense. Looks like what you've envisioned. It begins to look like the master plan, this thing. And for Mommy's school story, I want to say that a lot of time we kind of separate our career and our jobs from God. I used to hear a lot of people say, oh, that's my career life, oh, that's my Christian life, oh, this life. But it's kind of intertwined. When God called Moses. Moses was a shepherd, and all he had, and shepherds, what do they use to hold? They hold a stick, and that stick is what they use to, control the flocks. Yeah, they control the flock and all that. But when God wanted to call him and use him, what did God said? He asked him, "What is that in your hand?" It was the stick. It was still that same stick that God used to perform all the miracles that he did in Egypt. So our career is just like what we have in our hands, what we can do with our hands. Mommy's school was a teacher. She knew how to teach. She had a school, but she surrendered that. She did more than teaching. She surrendered that into God's hands. Then she started caring for the souls of the people she was teaching. And then she didn't just say, oh, that's my career. We didn't pay her for that extra hours that she watched us.
Right.
But she began to pick interest in the people she was teaching. And then she used her career as a teacher.
So essentially, she fulfilled the Great Commission with her work.
Teaching, with her work. She was a fantastic teacher. She was being paid to close wherever. Maybe it's 3 p.m. But she went an extra mile. She went an extra mile. And with all our jobs and everything we are doing, you can just say, oh, I'm just an ordinary architect. I'm just an ordinary builder.
So essentially, we should look out for opportunities at work.
Yes.
And use that to...
Because that work that you are doing is a tool for evangelism. Is a tool in God's hand, especially when you have access to people. It's a tool in God's hands to reach out to people. Yeah, to reach out to people in our community, our colleagues and all that. So what is it in your hand? God wants to use that, which is in your hands.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very profound.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Wow. Guys, we've come to the end of today's episode. So much to discuss, so much to talk about, but we are trying to just compress it all in, in this little time, because we don't want to keep you, fatigued listening for a long time. But be rest assured, guys, so many episodes coming your way.
Right.
We're planning to, get more guests, interesting guests, young, middle-aged, old, pastors, mentors, career professionals, interesting people. I just would say keep your eyes on this podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. Follow me on Spotify as well if you haven't. And I promise you, you will be blessed. You'll be happy you did. Until I come your way again next time. Thank you, beloved.
You're welcome.
See you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.